And thank you. Welcome to a beautiful summer Saturday afternoon in Hamilton. The Ticats, Saskatchewan Roughriders for the second time this season. The last one 5 weeks ago, decisively for the Riders. That was the first game, 40, that Hamilton had to move on without Bo Levi Mitchell starting at QB. Harrison Frost, who started last week for the first time, gets another start here today.
Yeah, and the hope obviously is that Harrison Frost continues to take steps forward. This is a guy who's been in the system in Hamilton for a couple of years, but wasn't with the team to start this season, so didn't have the benefit of training camp. But Scott Milanovich has high expectations of Harrison Frost and believes that this is a guy that can help this team take steps forward. Meanwhile, another former Scott Milanovich protege, Trevor Harris, making his 137th career CFL start, 14 years into his career and playing the best football of his life.
And his head coach, Corey Mace, third year as Riders head coach, defending Grey Cup champion, and his team coming off back-to-back wins, including a decisive one last week over Ottawa. And Scott Milanovich, his Ticats, good start, but that injury to Bo Levi Mitchell certainly changed things. He's trying to find that winning formula again. They're 1-4 since Mitchell went down back in week 5. There's Isaiah Wooden to receive. The Riders won the toss. They have deferred, and it is Alex Hale. A little conversation about the Rider kicking game. We'll talk about that later coming in, but he gets to start at kicker again for Saskatchewan. Week 11 coming to an end here in Hamilton, and into the hands of Wooden, who gets it up close to the 30, and then he is swarmed by green and white. The tackle there, Ryder Varga. And here comes Harrison Frost for his second CFL start.
Yeah, and talking to Scott Milanovich a little bit about Harrison Frost this week, you know, one of the things he said is that it's not just about Harrison Frost going out and making good decisions. He's at a point that we expect him and need him to go out there and make plays.
It was a rough start in BC last week, but he did settle down. He was 20 for 33, 239, a touchdown and a pick, and they nearly came back to force overtime against the Lions, throwing right away. And it's Curly Gittins, who was the top receiver for Hamilton last week against the Lions, who has the first catch there and a first down, Hamilton.
Yeah, quick hitter. As we take a look at this starting offense, the rookie Jonathan Dennis making the start at right guard in that offensive unit. Great receiving group, but they'll get a boost if they can get that running game going with Larry Roundtree III. Take a little bit of pressure off of quarterback Harrison Frost.
The running back beside Frost, Larry Roundtree. The tight end, Max Mang, into that offense as well. And there, little misdirection into the hands of Carrick Wheatfall. And a good play again. Second play on offense for the Ticats, another first down.
Again, love the play call right out of the gate. Keep that defense off balance. Again, a shovel pass here, but an extension of your run game. Get these guys, get that defense, force them to move laterally, force them to move sideways rather than allowing them to get upfield. You're forcing them to defend sideline to sideline.
So 2 plays from scrimmage and 2 first downs up to their 52. Frost swinging it out to Roundtree. Takes it, gets it to midfield, and just over where he is put down there by Jameer Thurman. A look at that Saskatchewan defense today.
And on that defense, Caleb Sanders continues to improve season by season. He becomes a full-time starter at that defensive tackle spot. Josh Woods coming over from BC in free agency. A great addition, been highly productive for the Riders so far this season. Nelson Lacombo, one of 3 nationals starting on the back end. A rare situation for the Green Riders.
And it's a second down now. Frost to the right and too far for Wheatfall there, is covered by Josh Woods. Falls incomplete, so they move the football, but the drive stalls now as the punting unit will come on.
Yeah, looking for Wheatfall coming out of the slot here, timing route. That speed out. Josh Woods doing a nice job from his weak side linebacker spot, getting underneath that, forcing Frost to be basically perfect with the throw. Pretty tight window as that sails out of bounds.
Into punt, Mitch McCarthy, first year in the CFL out of Indiana, and a low driving punt for Daniel Weeb, who takes it inside his 5. 50-yard punt. And Weeb gets it out across the 20. Leading to Trevor Harris, statistically, so far having the best season of his career. And a reigning Grey Cup champion MVP as well. Heading onto the field in a scoreless tie early here in the CFL on TSN in Hamilton. yards and passed the 40,000 career mark.
Yeah, tremendous career for Trevor Harris. All began in 2012 as a Toronto Argonaut under Scott Milanovich. Backing up Ricky Ray alongside Zach Collaros. Lessons learned well in those days. And Trevor Harris continuing to get it done. And as I said off the top, doing it, I believe, at as high a level as he has ever done in his career.
And doing it last week without two of his top receivers, and Sam Emelis and Kian Schaefer-Baker. And so that's the first carry in the CFL for Star Thomas, new running back, with the injury to Quali Conley last week against Ottawa.
As we take a look at the starting offensive line, left guard is the rookie from the University of Western Ontario, Eric Anderson. And this team just seems to keep finding terrific receivers. Johnny Johnson III seems to be the latest in a long line. Great deep group.
And a couple of Canadians filling the void at receiver in Jete, also Mims. Second down and long. Harris steps up, soft toss, intercepted, tipped into the hands of Stavros Katsantonis. The Ticats interceptions leader has his fourth pick of the season, and here comes Hamilton in business in scoring position in the Rider zone.
Well, the man with a nose for the football. In the middle of that Ticat secondary, the veteran Stavros Katsantonis. You see him top left corner of your screen. Coming down, looking to make a play on the receiver. Ball gets tipped up in the air by Del Duncan Busby. Katsantonis comes down with it.
And so Frost comes back on at the 33, handing off to Roundtree. He has a hole in the left side and works his way through for a good pickup on first down of 5 yards. Second straight week, Dwayne, that the Ticats have benefited from little tip drill to get an interception.
Yeah, they'll take it any way it comes, particularly when you can give your offense such a short field. Stavros Katsantonis with his fourth INT of 2026.
Scrimmaging at the 27 and a 2nd and 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown Ticats! Myron Mitchell picks up 6. And that TD toss from Harrison Frost. And that's the first touchdown of the season for Myron Mitchell.
Yeah, he's holding on to that ball tight. You got to love the start for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And you talk about complementary football. Defense sets up the offense with a short field. They look for that sudden impact offensively, and I love the decisiveness of Harrison Frost here. Quick read, knows immediately where he wants to go with that football and delivers it with authority.
That combination worked late at BC Place to force a 24-24 tie against the Lions. When they connected, he got it right down near the goal line, and then they ended up with the touchdown. But it was the big play to Mitchell to set them up there. After the interception right here, deflected into the hands of Katsantonis, and immediately Frost, Mitchell, 7-0. Ticats lead.
Start to the football game for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Myron Mitchell, the man of the moment, with the first touchdown. You're going to see him coming out of the slot, but I also want you to watch the receiver beside him, Curly Gittens, and the effect that he has on the safety, Jackson Ford, on the hash mark. As Gittens' job basically is to hold that safety. He can't move until late to try and get over there to help out in the coverage on Myron Mitchell. With Gittens' route holding the safety in the middle, it gives Harrison Frost a little more time and space to deliver that ball to Mitchell for the major.
And that's his third touchdown pass of the season, his second as a start for Harrison Frost. The Mark Lakio kick goes to Johnny Johnson. Across the 30, 35, 40. Another good return for Johnson, settling in with all the injuries they've had in the return game for Saskatchewan. Johnson's had some good ones, and back comes Trevor Harris now. A short stay the last time they had the football with that tip for the interception by Katsantonis.
And no doubt they look to shake that one off. Mentioned off the top some of the injuries, particularly to the receiving core. for Saskatchewan, but Trevor Harris thus far has just kept on ticking as they put together terrific depth in that group.
Comes into this game 183 yards shy of the great Tracy Ham for 11th overall in CFL passing yards. And Harris went over 40,000 for his career last week against Ottawa. So here we go from their 48. Scrimmaging again. 1st and 10. That's complete. That's the rookie, Dylan Jette, who had a touchdown in his first start last week against Ottawa, gets that one across midfield.
Young man, they look to make some plays as we take a look at this Tiger Cat defense. Philip Osai in his 2nd season with the Ticats, doing a terrific job leading that pass rush off the edge. Reggie Stubblefield in his 2nd season as a Ticat has certainly emerged as one of their spiritual leaders. And Destin Talbert, the quiet, reliable presence in the back end, really sound player at that boundary halfback.
2nd and short, another carry for Star Thomas, who spinned off a tackle, spun off against Osai and was able to lunge for another yard, but he did not get the first down. We got a 3rd and short, couple of yards shy coming up. And the punting unit is coming on for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, big stand for the Hamilton defense after a promising return for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, getting out close to midfield. Nice starting point. Ticats ensure that they do not get in to black and gold territory.
The punter, Oscar Chapman, on for the Riders. The 42 flags out. And finger pointing time.
And is it going to be a first down? Yes, it is.
Oh, it will be. That's a big penalty coming up here. It's 3rd down and a couple of yards, and Riders get 5 by the looks of things. The offense coming back on the field. Referee is Justin McInnes. They're still sorting this out. But yes, if it's against Hamilton, that'll be a first down for the green and white.
Keep an eye on the top of your screen, top of the line for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Early movement. I think the discussion is probably because the center's head popped up. Long snapper.
So it looked like Tyson Middlemost moving 83 Ticats, but yeah, now that is the question they're discussing. Was there movement on the Rider line?
Procedure, Saskatchewan, number 93. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty, and it remains 3rd down.
Benoit Marion is the one that is flagged for procedure, so it'll still be a punt now. Chapman pushed 5 yards further back, and 2 returners back now for Hamilton, where there had been one before, Isaiah Wooden, along with the guy that has the touchdown in this game so far, Myron Mitchell. Chapman's punt, it is heading Mitchell's way. Down inside his 15, Mitchell. After a punt of 46, the return gets up to the 25. And back comes Harrison Frost. Good start for Frost in his 2nd CFL start. A little sample of what he did last week in Vancouver. He's got a touchdown pass in this game and a 7-0 lead.
Harrison Frost comes from a football family. His grandfather, Ken Hockman, was a high school coach in Georgia, and so was his uncle Kyle and his cousin Bailey, who was also a quarterback as well. Grew up being ball boys, also having their own playbooks, and also understanding through the messaging of being really a part of a coaching family that achievement isn't everything in football. It's perseverance and patience, and that is something Harrison Frost had to learn backing up Justin Fields in high school. Then he went to Mercer College, was a backup, then he finally went to Western Georgia, and had 18 months of being a starter. And now here in Hamilton, it's perspective that's really given him a leg up, understanding that I'm not scared to fail. Failure is not going to define me. What's going to define him, though, are passes like he had to start this game, and maybe this one.
Just a bit too far for Kenny Lawler, Matthew. He'd been 4 for 5 coming in, and also the first target for Lawler in this game. Also, though, coaching aspirations, as we talked about with him a couple of days ago. He was a grad assistant at Virginia and did a little bit of coaching there, not knowing what his playing future would be like.
Yeah, like so many quarterbacks, the way that mind works. But he's a guy who has grasped the system very well under Scott Milanovich. And, you know, you're seeing indications of that, obviously, over the course of the last couple of weeks in particular.
So 2nd and 10 after his second incompletion. Completes that one to Wheatfall, but barely a couple of yards there. It'll be 3rd and short coming up for Harrison Frost, Wheatfall, and that Ticats offense with the 7-point lead, but McCarthy will come on to kick it away.
Yeah, good second down coverage here. Essentially, this is just a check down to Wheatfall out along the sideline. He's going to be stopped well short of that first down marker.
Daniel Wiebe handles the punt returns. They've had injuries to James Letcher, and they had a keeper in Matthew Sexton, but filled in for a couple of games and then got hurt against the Ticats back in week 5. So Wiebe has been handling the punt returning since then, as the product of the Saskatchewan Huskies takes it after a 53-yard punt. And a pretty good return there for Daniel Wiebe to get it up close to the Rider 50. From DC Studios comes the most anticipated series of the summer, Lanterns, the gripping new murder mystery inspired by the iconic Green Lantern universe. Streams August 16th, only on Crane.
Welcome back to the field. Your Hamilton Tiger
See the running back, Star Thomas out of Tennessee. Played with the Volunteers last year. His first taste of the CFL coming today. After being signed back in June, swung out there for Keyshawn Johnson for Harris, though, and that was a little bit too much ahead of him. 2nd down ahead.
Yeah, the Roughriders obviously have been through some injury challenges at the running back spot. A.J. Ouellette going down, as well as Wally Conley, who came in to replace Ouellette, but now getting a look at Starcorius Thomas. Never thought I'd see the day that a player in the CFL would have your middle name.
Starcorius. Not many people know that. Another point of trivia about me. So Star Thomas there to the left. Here's Harris. And wide open is Del Duncan Busby for a first down. Pushed out of bounds by Quavian White. But the sticks move, and the Riders have ventured in to the Ticats territory.
And you've got Duncan Busby lined up out wide on this one. Corner drops off deep, easy read for Trevor Harris to deliver that ball in front of Quavian White.
Down to the Ticat 52. Riders early on. With 5.5 minutes to go until first quarter time, trailing by 7. As Harris hands off to Star Thomas, has a hole. Philip Osai had him wrapped, but he's still able to push for another couple of yards. And we've got a 2nd and short coming up just around the Ticat 40.
Yeah, good burst there from Star Thomas, just lowering his shoulder into contact against the bigger Philip Osai. Picking up a couple of hard-earned yards after contact. Frustration from the Ticat defensive end.
Yep, thought he should have had him a few yards back. That's Andrew Harris, legend. Running back in this game for many years, a star, and the running backs coach with Saskatchewan, and talking to him. And with Tommy Stevens in on the short down, well, the short yardage, excuse me, Tommy Stevens, he's had some memorable games. He certainly had one against Hamilton 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, Tommy Stevens enjoying a rather prolific season in terms of finding the end zone. He's a guy who is something of a specialist in this league as a short yardage / package type quarterback, but embracing the role and executing it at a high level.
He had 8 carries for 54 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Ticats back in week 6. And in the last 2 games, he's had 3 touchdowns in each of them. A couple of hat tricks and swinging it out. And that's going nowhere. Reggie Stubblefield on Johnny Johnson. And lost yardage on that play, pushing them back close to the 40.
And Reggie Stubblefield just 2nd level here. Good read and reaction from the Tiger Cats' strong side linebacker.
from the left hash and out to the strong side to the right. Duncan Busby to Sean Mims. Johnny Johnson, who has it again, this time the other way, and it's not much more successful than the last reception. At least it gains a couple of yards back to the original line of scrimmage, but we got a third down and long coming up here for the Riders. And Alex Hale, field goal kicker, coming on to see if they can get the green and white on the board.
The Ticat defense holding tough here. Doing a good job, Zamari Walton. When you have a chance to make a tackle, you got to make that play. He delivers.
So Alex Hale on, and the Aussies somewhat beleaguered, kicking 74% in field goals. They brought in a kicker, Dawson Hodge, and put him in game situation during practice this week, but they went with Hale again, and that looks awfully good. So he puts that one away in the high 40s and gets Saskatchewan on the board with that field goal. 15 of 20 now. Alex Hale. 7-3. Ticats still lead late in the first quarter. Kennesaw, Georgia, and the third starting quarterback for the Ticats since Bo Levi Mitchell got hurt back in week 5 against Winnipeg. You see Trey Ford's record. It was actually Jake Dolegala getting the first start after Bo and losing in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and a situation, Trey Ford, Jake Dolegala, they were the guys that were here for training camp. Experienced CFL guys, have been around for a few years, have had starts previously.
A first down carry, that's Larry Roundtree with a couple of yards on that carry. But no, it's been Scott Milanovich going first with Dolegala in Saskatchewan and then coming back with Trey Ford for a couple of games. Won one against Toronto, then lost a couple. But, I mean, the numbers don't lie. They're missing Mitchell. Look at the difference with him and without him.
Yeah, no question. You know, their offensive output basically cut in half without Bo Levi Mitchell, who was having another MOP kind of season to start 2026. Unfortunate injury.
They were close at 24 points on the board last week, and they lead this one. That combination there, not quite the same, mind you. Frost to Mitchell, who has the touchdown in this game, but again, underneath and not enough for a first down. And the punting unit will come on again.
Jameer Thurman, one-time Hamilton Tiger Cat middle linebacker, first man in to make the play. Defensive coordinator Joshua Bell. He's been a right-hand man to Corey Mace for much of their respective coaching journeys.
Well, isn't that the truth? I mean, together in Calgary as teammates, was coached by him, and then in Toronto as well, winning a Grey Cup and doing it again last year in Regina. That's Daniel Weeb after a 40-yard punt by Mitch McCarthy and heads out of bounds on the far side. So final minute, 46 seconds to go. And the Riders last time out got close enough for a field goal. Trevor Harris climbing the ladder in the all-time passing list and back on now.
Consistently among the most, if not the most, accurate quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League year over year. And that has been Trevor Harris's calling card.
And his first head coach in the CFL?
Yeah, Scott Milanovich.
Who remembers him well and is very proud of him and happy for him that he got his Grey Cup ring as a starter last year for Saskatchewan. Handing off to Star Thomas, the new running back for Saskatchewan, goes left side. And should be the last play of the quarter coming up. Lots of time left in the play clock. Zeros in the quarter, but still 12 seconds. And counting as like Harris made a change. Passing that off to Myron Mitchell. Second meeting of the year. Riders, Ticats. That's the difference right there as Hamilton takes a lead. One quarter here in Hamilton. It's the Ticats leading the Saskatchewan Roughriders 7-3. The big play. Points off the turnover. I mean, that's really the story so far, 40. The interception by Katsantonis and that touchdown pass to Mitchell.
Yeah, and one of the positives that you take out of that from a Hamilton point of view, with the turnover, a short field, and able to capitalize on it, able to make the most of it. And that's the kind of thing that they're going to have to do with a young quarterback, new starting quarterback. Obviously, things aren't going to be perfect, but when you are gifted opportunities, so to speak, you've got to cash in.
And Scott Milanovich, when asked about it, isn't shying away from the question of how challenging it's been since Bo Levi Mitchell got hurt on offense. But he did say last week, like, let's check in 3 games later. Let's give this some time. And he certainly believes in Harrison Frost and wants him to a little more time, a few more reps to settle in. Likes his potential, and so far 6 for 8 for 61 yards on that touchdown pass, and they're about to get the ball back too, because Oscar Chapman is punting it away, and Isaiah Wooden is right at the 20 to take this one as he heads off to his right, looking for the edge, trying to turn it up, but a good tackle, punt cover there by Nick Weave, one of their special teams tackles leaders. So back comes Harrison Frost in his second CFL start.
Yeah, you know, we've talked a lot this season about the level, the quality of quarterback play around the league this season, and a lot of that offensive success, quarterback success, having to do with the fact that there's so many experienced veteran quarterbacks in the league. But the one thing taking that a step further, it's not just veteran quarterbacks, but quarterbacks who have been in their current system for multiple years, guys who have been settled. And this is one of the things that Frost brings to Hamilton.
Just a 3-man rush and an open receiver. It's Curly Gittens, and a first down for the Ticats. Another catch for Gittens that gets him up across the 50.
Yeah, Gittens, veteran receiver, doing a nice job finding a soft spot in that secondary between levels along that sideline. Sits it down, Frost tucks it in. But Frost is a guy who had been in Scott Milanovich's system for a couple of years, which Trey Ford and Jake Dolegala hadn't. And so that sort of, given the situation they were in, needing to keep pace basically in the East Division, Frost is the guy best equipped to give them a chance right now.
So here we are in first down, deeper to the right, and intended again for Lawler, and just missing his target. Second time Lawler's been targeted and just not quite there as that ball's incomplete. Second down.
Harrison Frost looking to try and get Kenny Lawler going a little bit here, one of the most prolific receivers in the Canadian Football League throughout his career. Those two still just trying to nail down their timing.
And Milanovich not making a direct comparison, but there is a little reminder of a certain quarterback he worked with back at the start of his career by the name of Trevor Harris with Toronto back in 2012. That's complete. Coming across, Carrick Wheatball. And he has it, and he is down close to a first down. This will be very close for Hamilton.
Yeah, big team coming in the game.
Gain of 9, third and 1.
The Hamilton Tiger Cats will get a look. Mike Rose from his defensive tackle spot. Swim move to the outside there. Veteran working against the rookie, Jonathan Dennis. Putting a little heat on Frost.
Jake Dolegala, as mentioned, got the first start after Bo Levi Mitchell got hurt. Since, though, losing the starting job has been used extensively, of course, in short yardage, and gets the first down there. In fact, Dolegala had a couple of touchdowns in short yardage last week for Hamilton at BC play.
That guy started his career as a Saskatchewan Roughrider. Something of a homecoming for him when he joined the Ticats partway through last season. A Buffalo area guy. Kind of got his introduction to the CFL throwing the ball in the offseason with CFL receivers Luke Tasker and Naaman Roosevelt, who's now on the Ticats coaching staff.
Well, and Roosevelt himself, a former Rough Rider.
Yes.
But yeah, quite the connection. And Dolegala played a lot in 2023. When first he did when Cody Bajarda was there in 22, and then he got a lot of starts when Trevor Harris was hurt in his first year with the Riders in 2023. Him and Mason Fine back then. Dolegala has since gone to BC and Winnipeg and settled in here in Hamilton. And Harrison Frost, who'd been on the depth chart, the QB depth chart, when it was Bo Levi Mitchell and Taylor Powell, and then went off to the UFL this year and got the call back after Mitchell got hurt. And here he is, second CFL start, 1st and 10 after that short yardage pickup, little pump fake, and then on to the right. Isaiah Wood returns best specialist, but like a lot of return specialists in the CFL, occasionally use them in offense, get them in space and see what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see a little bit of a pump fake. You see Wooden coming across the formation here. But you're going to see a bit of a pump fake from Harrison Frost. You think he's looking deep to Kenny Lawler. I think the idea is to try and get the defense to drop off and go with Lawler so he can dump it underneath to Isaiah Wooden. As you said, get the return specialist the ball in space, let him use those wheels.
That's just his third catch of the season. Isaiah Wooden, and it's a first down. They're working their way down the field. Setting up a screen here to Larry Roundtree. And he works his way down for the short gain down to about the 30 of the Riders.
Yeah, it looked like the execution of that screen got accelerated a little bit as the Riders' rush broke through, forcing Frost and Roundtree in particular to make an adjustment.
There's a veteran, Jameer Thurman, his 8th year at Indiana State and the leading tackler coming into this game for that Rider defense. So the 2nd and 8, just a 2-yard pickup. The pass, and the coverage coming in, and a flag coming out. It is Nelson Lacombo and Keandre Smith, and it looked like Lacombo was getting the start at field corner, arrived just a bit too soon. Corey Mace doesn't
Pass
think so.
interference, Saskatchewan, number 25. It's going to be first down at the spot of the foul.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to take a second look at this. And the timing to me is challenging from a defensive point of view. Yeah, I think this is a tough call for the Riders. I mean, look, Lacombo's on his spot.
Again, when you slow it down, it's a little bit of a different game sometimes than watching it at regular speed. No challenge, though, from Corey Mace. 1st and goal. Ticats set up at the Saskatchewan 7. Frost completes it to weak ball, tries to turn it up, and a good tackle there by the nickel linebacker, Antoine Brooks. So have another look at this. This PI call against the Riders.
Yeah, and we'll take a look here at full speed.
You see it at full speed. Almost looks like he arrived at the perfect time, doesn't it?
Yeah. And again, I've said it many times. I think if you have to slow it down to determine that he got there before the ball, then it's not pass interference.
Ticats lead, looking for more. 2nd and goal into the end zone. No for Kenny Lawler. Lacombo was there. It looked like Lawler had a chance at that touchdown, but it hits the turf, and now we've got a 3rd down for Hamilton.
As we take another look at that, when the Tiger Cats roll their field goal team out onto the field, not wanting to take any chances, coming away empty. And yeah, it looked like Kenny Lawler had both hands on this one. Just couldn't quite secure it before Lacombo arrived.
So they got goal to go, but instead, Mark Leggio's out for the field goal try, and it is good. Leggio, 17 for 20 on the season, and there's the top receiver right now for the Riders, especially with Emelis and Schaefer-Baker hurt. It is Keyshawn Johnson coming into this game with over 700 yards receiving. Saskatchewan trailing by 7. And to step up last week, Wayne, with injuries to Sam Emelis and Kean Schaefer-Baker, he had 11 catches for 133 and a touchdown.
Yeah, and I don't know if Keyshawn Johnson sometimes gets lost in the depth of all the receivers that the Saskatchewan Roughriders have. But the fact is, this guy is an absolute star in the Canadian Football League. Runs all the routes well, like one of the best.
Back on the field now, and it's in the hands of Star Thomas in his first CFL game, and a good pickup there on 1st down. But you're right. I mean, they needed him always. They certainly needed him since these other star receivers got hurt.
Yeah, and there you see the numbers climbing year by year. One of those guys who spent a little bit of time in the National Football League. Comes up here as an experienced pro and able to contribute right away when he arrived in Regina.
There's Kean Schaefer-Baker. Went to university nearby in Guelph and became a CFL star in his own right. But he's on the 6th game, the knee injury underneath, and that's the first catch of the game for Deshaun Mims, who had some key catches. Talk about the young receivers looking to fill the void, and along with Jete last week, Mims did as well.
Yeah, and this became a little bit of a theme, I thought, for Saskatchewan last year, where at times, you know, they were playing with 5, call them backup receivers if you want to. I mean, that may be what they were in terms of the depth chart to start the season, but not in terms of quality. Just so much depth, and as guys move on this year, Tommy Neal, Joe Robustelli move on in free agency, but they just have a new wave of guys coming in. When you think about Johnny Johnson III, Dylan Jete as well drafted this year.
And Mims, and it's a flag coming out on that carry, and another good one there for Star Thomas. And this is going against the Ticats.
Illegal block, hands to the face. Hamilton, number 95. It's going to be 10-yard penalty, first down Saskatchewan.
Getting their end, Julian Hauser on that penalty.
Yeah, Hauser, bottom defensive right in your picture. Just see on the rush. Gets that hand up under the chin on the face mask of the tackle. Peyton Collins.
So with that, the ball moves to the Ticat 50. It's a 10-3 Hamilton lead, and the Riders could have been more for the Ticats. Got it to goal to go, but just couldn't get it into the end zone. Against the Rider team that beat them by 31 5 weeks ago. The toss, right, Thomas Hauser chasing him down, and he does manage to trip him up. And another flag is out on that first down play.
Flag on the play.
Back at the Hamilton 52.
Yeah, late flag towards the end of the play.
Holding, Saskatchewan, number 88. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And this time going against the Riders and Johnny Johnson.
First and 20 for Saskatchewan.
Watch for the block. Grab on Jamal Peters, number 2 for the Ticats.
So that sees them move back to their 50 and a first down and 20. Roughriders down 7. Second quarter, caught by Thomas, has the reception at midfield, but it'll be a second down and long, still 15 yards to go.
Ticats defense doing their part. Again, going back to that idea of complementary football defense, as you're playing with your backup quarterback, trying to do their best in terms of putting the offense in positions to be successful.
For Brent Monson and that defense forcing the turnover that led to the Ticat touchdown in the first quarter. The throw right at the first down mark for Jete. Dylan Jete, in his second CFL game, had a touchdown in his debut last week at Mosaic, and they needed 15 yards, and they got awfully close to it. Looks like a 3rd and short coming up.
Jete, first-year guy, finished his college career at Alabama State. This is a guy who, you know, at the youth level, played for Team Canada as a defensive back and receiver before heading south.
Tommy Stevens goes right, easily gets the first down. Braxton Hill tackles him, and that's the thing with Stevens, who's just mastered this short yardage, along with a lot of help, of course, up front. But we've seen him with much longer carries when he only needs a yard.
And one of the things I appreciate about the job Tommy Stevens does is that every play is important. You know, as much as it's this role, you think, oh, okay, he's a backup quarterback, maybe the number 3 quarterback on the depth chart, but it's the ball.
And here's a deep shot down the rail to the right. That That's Jete, who's the intended target, but a little too far for him. He was well covered, so second down coming up. But another note about Stevens, by the way, who does take a lot of pride in that role that he has as a short yardage QB. Another look at this one.
And again, Trevor Harris mentioned to us through training camp, really until Jete got into the lineup last week, Trevor really hadn't thrown to him. But it doesn't matter. Whoever's in the lineup, doing the spot, doing their job.
McManus is his first year as a Ticat. The man with the toothpick most of the time makes the tackle, and it forces a third down. Well, no toothpick now, of course.
Yes, it'll be waiting for him on the sidelines. The trademark, but Wynton McManus, his presence welcomed here in Hamilton, coming down the highway from Toronto. The loss of number 2 overall pick in last year's draft, Hamilton's starting middle linebacker a year ago, Devin Verasuk, currently with the Indianapolis Colts. McManus really providing leadership and stabilizing the unit.
Alex Hale had a 48-yarder, that one, and reads the wind nicely too, coming across. 48 and 41, and a couple of field goals, and they get back to within 4. Second quarter in Hamilton, and a 10-6 Tiger Cats lead. Wayne Ford, Matthew Shinetti back at Hamilton Stadium, and we're getting close to the 3-minute warning. 3:33 on the clock, with the Ticats and Harrison Frost leading the way over the Roughriders, who was close in the first half 5 weeks ago, by the way. 11-7, the Riders led in that, and then they blew it open in the second half. So a challenge for Hamilton to sustain 4 good quarters. They have the lead. Larry Roundtree has the ball, and he picks up a few yards as the clock is ticking down close to that 3-minute mark. But Harrison Frost, in his second CFL start, his debut as a starter was last week at BC Place, and he's 11 of 15 for 101 yards passing, and that 1 touchdown toss to Myron Mitchell.
Yeah,
3-minute warning.
So they do call the 3-minute warning, and a second down coming up here for the Hamilton Tigers.
Milt Stegall gets to reveal his dog of the week. Any teasers?
It's a special one.
Okay, it's a special one. So no teasers abroad. Wayne, you'll have to wait like all of us to find out who that is at the half.
Tune in, baby. Tune in.
I like the sound effects. Coming up, dog of the week, Milt Stegall. For Laura Dyken and the panel coming up. Halftime getting closer here. It's a 10-6 Ticat lead. Off to the right, a flag comes out. It's caught by Carrick Wheatball in what would be a first down for Hamilton, pending the flag.
Do you think that Milt Stegall ever would have been Milt Stegall's dog of the week?
That's a good question. I think for Milt, absolutely. Maybe every week.
Illegal block, hands to the face. Hamilton, number 53. It's a 10-yard penalty, and we'll repeat second down.
The referee, Justin McInnes, and close to, I should say, a first down, but that's negated by that one, pushing them back inside their 35.
And keep an eye here on the rookie right guard, Jonathan Dennis. Working against Devin Adams. You see that right hand slide up to the face mask.
So second down and 16 now from their 34. Under 3 minutes to go till halftime. Underneath, Curly Gittins has his 3rd catch of the evening. Gets it up to the 45, but we get a 3rd down coming up now. And still plenty of time for the Riders to see if they can work something down the field and make it closer or even take the lead. That's Daniel Weeb going back for the return.
I love seeing Daniel Weeb get this opportunity. This is a guy who's an absolute star in U Sports, the Canada West nominee for the Heck Crichton Trophy a year ago as the top university football player in Canada after being one of the top receivers in the country the previous year, but an 8th round pick of the Riders in 2025. Came to camp last year, back to school, and makes the team this time around.
Well, you talked about receiving corps for Saskatchewan. They got a lot of great Canadian receiving talent, don't they? 48-yard punt by McCarthy, and that return for Daniel Weeb on special teams. as Trevor Harris comes on. Well, Scotty Scheffler has the lead right now, 13 under, a 2-shot lead heading into the final 18. Late first half, 2:18 on the clock. Saskatchewan trailing by 4, but with the ball just across their 25 for Trevor Harris. Has lots of time, gets it over to the left, and that's Del Duncan Busby with it up at the 30-yard line, so still second down ahead for another member of the receiving corps. Talk about a Canadian Air Force for Saskatchewan, one of the many talented Canadian receivers that the Riders have.
Duncan Busby, the 23rd overall pick for the Riders back in 2024.
Scheffler has the lead right now, 13 under, a 2-shot lead heading into the final 18. Late first half, 2:18 on the clock. Saskatchewan trailing by 4, but with the ball just across their 25 for Trevor Harris. Has lots of time, gets it over to the left, and that's Del Duncan Busby with it up at the 30-yard line, so still second down ahead for another member of the receiving corps. Talk about a Canadian Air Force for Saskatchewan, one of the many talented Canadian receivers that the Riders have.
Duncan Busby, the 23rd overall pick for the Riders back in 2024. See a little bit more playing time year by year for them.
And missing two of their talented receivers in Kean Schaefer-Baker and Samuel Emelis. This one again today. They're on the 6th game, and it's back to Duncan Busby, and gets out of bounds with a first down up around the 40 as this drive will continue. 1:48 to go, so plenty of time here for Harris and the Riders.
Duncan Busby, a guy, he talked about it a little bit when he had an interview with our panel during the weather delay in Edmonton a couple weeks ago, but a guy who went down to prep school in the States, and I'm originally from Ontario, but went down to play basketball, as so many do, and eventually found his way onto the football field and fell in love with the game and has found a future in it.
1st and 10, Harris quickly again, and that is caught. And that is Keyshawn Johnson. First catch, he'd been targeted a couple of times, but that's his first reception. First down at the Hamilton 50.
Yeah, working out of the slot here. Finds that soft spot. You see him kind of throttle down between defenders, recognizing that's his opportunity, his window to get the football. It's not always about running full speed, but understanding the timing, etc. of the play.
Just under 1.5 minutes to go. Keyshawn Johnson, a big day last week, 133, coming off his first catch. And after the pump fake and looking over for Deshaun Mims, that falls just shy of him as he was swinging it out. So second down.
Opportunity here, big second down for the Saskatchewan offense. Try and put some points on the board before the end of the half.
Mark Mueller, their offensive coordinator. On the 2nd and 10, Harris, and underneath again, Star Thomas to get at least closer to field goal range and keeps his legs pumping. He gets it down around the 35 and another first down for the Riders.
Yeah, this is a terrific effort after the catch from Star Thomas to pick up that first down. Chips off the defensive tackle on his release. Just planting that right foot in the ground right here. Getting it north-south. Fight through contact and move the sticks.
So here we go. Drive continues. Harris, soft toss to the right, and no, looking for Johnson, but that one out of bounds and incomplete.
Yeah, Johnson with a shot at it again. Destin Talbert doing a nice job in coverage to take that one away.
52 seconds on the clock. It's second down and 10. Alex Hale has 2 field goals to account for the Riders scoring, one of 48 yards, one of 41. If they don't get any further here, we're looking at about a 42-yard try to cut into that Ticat lead. 2nd and 10, showing only a 3-man rush. They drop back in coverage, and underneath the throw for a first down, spinning and a few yards more for Johnny Johnson. Well, yeah, easy field goal range, of course, but I mean, they're getting closer to the 20 and still 45 seconds on the clock.
See Johnny Johnson here. Starts off inside. Again, zone coverage. Find the soft spot, hook it up. Easy first down.
Clock ticking, and that in behind Deshaun Mims, and underneath he reached back, but he couldn't get his hands on it. So quickly, with 30 seconds to go until halftime, it's a 2nd and 10 again.
Well, they had a big win, 2nd and long on the check down to start Thomas a few plays ago. See if they can do it again. Keep their hopes of scoring a touchdown alive here.
From the 21 of Hamilton, 2nd down, more pressure, down inside the 5, and Johnson gets up. Johnny Johnson, and a Saskatchewan touchdown. He was down when he caught it, not touched, and Johnson gets up. And 6 points, Saskatchewan Roughriders.
And the key to making this play happen, keep an eye on the running back, Star Thomas. He's going to get over to this side as you're going to see a blitz coming free off the edge. Destin Talbert. Thomas slides across, decleats him, keeping that pocket clean for Trevor Harris to find Johnny Johnson. For the Riders' first major, first lead of the day.
And the first touchdown in the CFL career of Johnny Johnson. With Hale on for the point after. 9 plays, 84 yards, just under 2 minutes. And another one who's taken on a more prominent role with the injuries to the Rider receiving corps. Johnny Johnson. And alertly getting up just before he was touched and would have been down for a goal to go. Instead gets it in. Another touchdown pass for Trevor Harris, his 20th TD pass of the season.
Take a look at this scoring drive for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Starts off in their own territory. Del Duncan Busby with a couple of catches to get things started. The Johnsons, Keyshawn and Johnny, getting involved. Johnny Johnson finishes it off. Touchdown number 1 of his Canadian Football League career.
So he has 4 catches on the night for 30 yards and that 21-yard touchdown. Johnny Johnson, and Trevor Harris needs 183 to move into 11th all time. He's got 129 right now. It's 13-10. And as said, there were only 18 points scored in the first half of the last meeting, which was 11-7 Riders at halftime. And I point that out because of what happened in the second half when Saskatchewan outscored Hamilton 31-0. The Ticats, I'm sure, are very aware of that. Keep going in this game. Myron Mitchell has their touchdown. Part of their 10 points and out of bounds on that return. 17 seconds to go until halftime, and for the first time in this game, the Riders lead. Mark Leggio's longest field goal, by the way, in his career is 55. He tried a 57-yarder at BC Place last week to force a tie in overtime, and he had the distance, just went off to the left. We'll see how close, with the wind swirling here at Hamilton Stadium in 17 seconds. They'd need one big play to get it close enough for Leggio. 3 receivers to the left and in motion and crossing the line of scrimmage before the snap. Hence the flags on the carpet.
Offside. Hamilton, number 14. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Well, they got Curly Gittins, but he wasn't the only one.
Everyone a little bit antsy.
And 5 further yards back for Harrison Frost. 12 of 16 for 112 yards, and that touchdown toss early in the game after the interception by Stavros Katsantonis. They got quick points off the turnover to take the lead for a while. Now trailing this, 17 seconds to go in the half, by 3, and choosing to run it to Larry Roundtree. And that is Caleb Sanders on the tackle after a short gain. Down to 13 seconds.
The Ticats perhaps looking to play it a little bit safe here. Protect that football and run out the clock to close out the first half. Don't take any chances.
Looking for a much different story in the second half in this game against Saskatchewan. Coming up the panel with Laura Dyken, Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, Milt Stiegel. Part 2 of a doubleheader earlier today. Edmonton decisively defeated the Toronto Argonauts, which puts some heat on Saskatchewan and helps out the Ticats in the standings right now. But thoughts on the first half so far?
Yeah, I think from a Hamilton point of view, you have to look at it from a team perspective. Defense doing a good job taking care of business, keeping the Saskatchewan offense largely in check, providing their offense with good field position. But for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, they get going late in the half.
With that touchdown from Johnny Johnson, his first CFL touchdown, 21 yards, and here he is now with Matthew Shinetti.
Well, Johnny Johnson, last weekend you had your first 100-yard game in this league, your first touchdown. Take us through the play call and the touchdown that put you ahead at halftime.
Just a dig over the middle. Trevor had some time, got the ball to me, caught it, got up, got in the end zone.
Injury presents opportunities for guys. How has Trevor Harris in this offense really played to your strengths and allowed you to grow, especially over the last few weeks?
Just Trevor's attention to detail, me being on the same time as him, getting the playbook down, us reading each other's minds at times and just knowing where to be.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Well, Laura, Stavros Katsantonis gave the Ticats a little bit of momentum with that pick early, but Johnny Johnson the third.
And a late touchdown by Johnny Johnson, giving the Riders the 13-10 lead. Ticats touchdown scored after an interception by Stavros Katsantonis, who's standing by with Matthew.
Stavros, I know that interception is the way you would have wanted to start the game, to seize momentum. That drive, when you look back on it, what points do you want to correct to make sure that Trevor Harris doesn't get into a rhythm in the second half?
Yeah, we know they get paid to play football as well, so our thing is just out there. We got to get off the field on second and long. We gave him a little too much softness. Trev's a smart guy. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's going to take that when he sees it. So just on our end, we got to be a little bit better about that. And then running the football, we got a chance to tackle a guy, get off the field. We got to be able to do that.
And with Star Thomas, someone like that who has been both running and receiving, putting not a lot, but some yards on you, how do you have to key on a guy like that so he doesn't become a workhorse for that team in the second half?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is you got to respect anyone who's at this level and plays this game, regardless if they've had a rep out here or not. We know he doesn't have a ton of film on him, but we know he's a good player, and we got to be able to come to balance, tackle him, and not let him make big plays and get that momentum.
Thanks, Steph.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
To their point, 40 about the second half. 5 weeks ago, it was just a 4-point game, and the Riders outscored them the second half 27-0. So this is what the Ticats have to remember. How explosive Harris and the Riders, they can suddenly turn it on, and they have the ball to start the second half with a pretty good return on the kickoff by Johnny Johnson at the touchdown for Saskatchewan in the first half. Trevor Harris, 14-21 for 129, 1 touchdown, 1 pick.
Yeah, easing into this one a little bit, not the fastest start. Obviously, the interception early that set up a Hamilton touchdown. Destin Talbert almost coming up with one there, but late in the half, Trev settles in, leads that touchdown drive, finding Johnny Johnson in close. Give the Riders a lead as we start the second half.
And a good place to start, too. Up at their 48, first down. That is the new running back, Star Thomas, in his CFL debut. And a good tackle there by Amari Notice, the Canadian coming in and taking him down after a couple of yards.
Amari Notice added to the roster this week. Rookie had been on the PR, 61st overall pick for the Tiger Cats this season. Defensive tackle, finished up his career at Coastal Carolina.
And that tackle after a 3-yard pickup forces a 2nd and 7 as he rotates out from the Rider 51. Explosive second half team. See what Harris can do. Off to the right, and it is caught inside the Hamilton 50. And that's 3 covering 3. That's Keyshawn Johnson managing to get it with White there on the cover.
Yeah, White in tight proximity, but well thrown ball from Trevor Harris. Keyshawn Johnson just doing his thing.
I talked about Saskatchewan's big second half against Hamilton 5 weeks ago. Last week against Ottawa, Red Blacks were in it to start the second half. In fact, they came back and they took the lead, but ultimately the Riders won that game by 22. They poured it on. Here we are, first down in the Hamilton zone, caught again. Pulling it down, Duncan Busby. And after the catch, here are the Riders quickly on the move and inside the Ticat 35.
And on cue, Rod proving to be something of a second half team. The Saskatchewan Roughriders, no surprise. You see defenders picked off there with a little bit of friendly fire after the catch.
And Duncan Busby is their leading receiver so far. 4 catches, 43 yards, and a first down inside the 35. For Harris, back to the ground, and Star Thomas. And another 2 or 3 yards, another second and long coming up here for the Riders. Against the defense that's done a pretty good job against the run. This first game for Star Thomas, but now 7 carries and 24 yards. The man in the middle, the veteran Wynton McManus in his first year, coming over from the Argos to join the Ticats.
Yeah, settling in quickly. You know, he wanted to kind of take his time, feel his way, but I think a lot of teammates were looking for him to be a vocal leader right away, and they let him know that.
2-yard pickup, 2nd and 8. It's caught. It is shy of a first down by Dylan Jette, the rookie in his second CFL game. And it is field goal unit coming on. It looks like a full yard, maybe 2 here in this 3rd down. And send on. Oh, excuse me. Did I speak too soon? I see a sighting of 17. Never assume when you got 17. Saw that. They brought in some of the heavyweights and their big quarterback Tommy Stevens, who, yeah, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. Who cares, right? The way he converts them.
Yeah. Getting deeper into opposition territory here. They'll take their chances.
Wynton McManus wanted another business meeting with him, and they try hard count. And they did get movement on the line, and everybody's blaming the other side here. Pretty important flag. Either it'll be first down or it'll be a field goal kick coming up.
Well, looked like the Roughriders were doing more pointing than the Tiger Cats for what that's worth. The Tiger Cats not protesting too much at the accusations that they moved.
There's the movement. It's like Julian Hauser. So Tommy Stevens comes on, but he doesn't have to run it to get the first down. Looks
Offside.
like they're getting it by penalty.
Hamilton, number 2. 5-yard penalty. First down, Saskatchewan.
I'm not picky about how they get it, just that they get it. Keep the drive alive. And that opportunity to try and put 6 on the board.
Well, you're Justin McInnes. The referees say 2, Jamal Peters. We did see that movement there from Hauser, but bottom line, it is offside Hamilton. And now it is down to their 21 and a 1st and 10 here for the Saskatchewan Roughriders with a 3-point lead and looking for more now early in the second half. Riders coming into this game at 6 and 2. And the handoff to Thomas, who found a hole and ran right through it. And a good pickup on the ground for Star Thomas inside the Ticats 15.
An eye here on the work of the left guard, Eric Anderson. Working his body around to get Amari Notice pinned to the outside to help create that lane for Star Thomas.
And for Tommy Stevens back on, and this time it is a 2nd and very short, and Stevens looks for the edge, goes outside, had to get to the 11, and it looked like he barely made it. See where they put it down. This looks like another Rider first down for Stevens, who had 3 touchdowns last week, 3 the week before. He is in a tie for the CFL lead in touchdowns, by the way.
I know his touchdown pace is making someone in the studio a little uncomfortable.
And not only him, Xander Horvath too had one in Calgary, and he has 11. Stevens the first to 11. Milt's mighty record of 23. Could it be in jeopardy? I think 85 might be sweating this one out a little bit. It's down to the 11, a first down and 10. Saskatchewan Roughriders. Little fake off to the side and then going that way anyway to Jete. Dylan Jete, who breaks one tackle at Katsantonis and does manage to get a little bit more, but that's still lost yardage. And here's a look at what Tommy Stevens did in the last couple of weeks.
You know, you look at the package, see the numbers, and you think all he does is score touchdowns, but that's not all he does, quite honestly.
That was further out. That was 6 yards away. And you're right, against Hamilton, he had a gain of 26, didn't go for a touchdown late in the game, and then he had a 14-yard short yardage.
Yeah, well, you think about last week when they're looking to close out the game, and it's a lot of Tommy Stevens.
Caught by Jete. Dylan Jete wrestled down. That was the 10th play of the drive, and that was a second down. So he gets a little closer, but not close enough. As we're looking this time at the field goal unit coming on with Alex Hale.
Cat defense bending but not breaking, as I thought that they made a big contribution in terms of sort of winning the field position battle in the first half of this game, which is one of the things you're going to strive to do with a less experienced starter in there. Try and put him in favorable positions.
Alex Hale set from 48, 41, and that is a chip shot for Hale. Put 3 more on the board for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and Hale is 3 for 3 on the night. Harris back to in this half, and Harrison Frost is on the sideline. Trey Ford is out there for Hamilton.
Yeah, and obviously we'll keep an eye on things and determine whether this is a package or short-term substitution, or if there's something more going on. Like a reasonably solid first half for Harrison Frost,
who is standing with helmet on as the sidelines, as you saw. Trey Ford got 3 starts. He was pulled in his last one 2 weeks ago here against Calgary after starting 4 for 10. So he's throwing on first down to Max Mang. Big German tight end takes it for a pickup of 5. Now Ford, it was Dolegala the first to start after Bo Levi Mitchell got hurt, and then Ford got 3 starts, and Scott Milanovich had seen enough, and that's when he made the move to Harrison Frost, who filled in 2 weeks ago against Calgary and then got the start against BC. And numbers not bad here in the game so far at 12 of 16, 112 and a touchdown pass. Ford again, 2nd and 4, running around. Something he does very well. He slides just across the 50, and a flag comes out too late as he takes a hit after sliding down for what looks to be a first down.
And we'll mention, you know, Harrison Frost was seen in the medical tent on the Hamilton sideline briefly in the first half, so not sure exactly what his status is there, but as we see Trey Ford using his legs, we'll note the only quarterback in the top 10 in the Canadian Football League in rushing coming into this week.
Number 25, 15 yards at the end of the play, automatic first down.
And Nelson Lacombo, you see right there at the end, gets called for roughing the passer in the slide, and it'll take the ball all the way down to the rider, 44, on that penalty.
Big boost there for the Hamilton Tiger Cats after picking up the first down.
In Ford's first start this season, first the Ticats picked up the win against the Argos. Very effective running the ball that day and handing off to Larry Roundtree, who picks up a couple of yards at most, a 2nd and long ahead. But then Ford in Montreal, and then that start also against Calgary, ball security was an issue for Scott Milanovich, and he got pulled early. And there you see Frost, who said, we wonder, Wayne, you talked about him going into the tent, but helmet on and looks at the ready here is Trey Ford. Taking the reps from the 42 of the Riders. And that throw, and looking for Roundtree, a little mix up there as it goes well to the left of Roundtree. No shot at that. And it's a 3rd down coming up here, and a long field goal try for the Ticats.
Yeah, it looked like the right read, right decision, just off the mark with the throw there for Trey Ford as he recognized pressure coming and the need to get rid of that ball quickly.
Well, I assumed field goal, but Ford stays out. Offense stays on. It's a 3rd and 8 coming up here from the Saskatchewan 42, and the Ticats are going for it. trailing by 6. Still a one-score game here in the third quarter. Big third down gamble. Ford steps up. He wants to take off, but he cannot get close enough. Inside the 40, he is wrestled down. And the Ticats turn it over on downs. It's a good tackle there from Josh Woods to make sure Ford could go no further. So their defense will come on for the Ticats because of this. 3rd down and 8 from the Rider 42. Trey Ford, first reps of the night. Not enough there. Rider football with a 6-point lead. 3rd and 8. Surprised they went for it?
A little bit, given the timing and the fact that it's not like it was a 3rd and short situation, but 3rd and long, not that far into Saskatchewan territory. But I think sometimes from a coaching point of view, sometimes honestly you go on field, don't necessarily go by the book. And so I think Scott Milanovic had a little bit of a hunch or feeling there and ran with it.
So happy Josh Bell, defensive coordinator, the Riders on that play by the D. Trevor Harris, 1st and 10, Saskatchewan 38. Looking to build in the 6-point lead. Off to the left, caught Keyshawn Johnson. So trying to get some answers in the Ticats QB situation. Let's go down to Matthew.
Well, Rod, I'm watching Harrison Frost right now, and the official line from the Ticats is he is being evaluated. Dwayne Ford, you're absolutely right. I, too, saw him go into the medical tent. He doesn't appear to be favoring anything, but he has been throwing at least soft toss with Jake Dolagala the last little bit. Obviously still watching and talking with the medical staff. And Harrison Frost is throwing now, but this certainly adds an interesting wrinkle to what's going on in this game, guys.
And the Riders with the ball. Matthew just picked up a first down to Keyshawn Johnson. Little fake to Thomas and completing again over the middle and right back to their leading receiver, Keyshawn Johnson, who moves the sticks again for Saskatchewan.
That looked like a little bit of a double clutch here from Trevor Harris as he wanted to maybe go to him earlier, but waited a split second for him to clear the middle linebacker, Winton McManus. Once he's past him, he hits him in that next window.
And Keyshawn Johnson, who had a quiet first half, is starting to rack up the yards now, up to 51 on 4 catches. And at the Hamilton 51, first down, Star Thomas. And just inside the 50. And Tracy Ham has been passed by Trevor Harris on the all-time list. Have a look now, updated. He needed 183 coming in, and he's got 3 more than that. So Trevor Harris, who got over 40,000 yards for his career last week, Dwayne, is now in the top 11 all-time with a guy by the name of Doug Flutie next on the list.
Pretty good company there for Trevor Harris as he continues to climb the list. You heard Stavros Katsantonis say it in the halftime interview. Trevor Harris, future Hall of Fame quarterback.
No doubt about that. And that offense heating up again. And just under pressure, he manages to check it down there to Deshaun Mims, hit by Reggie Stubblefield, but still not enough for a first down for Saskatchewan. But they get it closer for a field goal try as Hale's coming on. They get it down to the 44, the Riders, and Hale 3 for 3 will try to put 3 more points on the board for Saskatchewan.
And this is where you look a little bit at the gamble for the Hamilton Tiger Cats to turn over on downs. Decent starting field position for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. A couple of first downs and they're in field goal range and putting points on the board.
His longest had been 48. He has a new longest over 50 yards. 52 for Alex Hale, and there had been some chatter about the kicking game for Saskatchewan this year. He was under some pressure and he's responding nicely. 52 yards, 4 for 4, and a 9-point Rider lead. Checking that out, I'm sure. Loves his auto racing and bike racing. The Hamilton 40, Trey Ford, still the quarterback. Myron Mitchell takes it, turns it up, and Lacombo there and getting a bit of help as well, but takes him down after a gain of about 6 yards. Call it 7.
It'll be interesting to see how much the MO changes here with Trey Ford in the ball game, if at all, from a play calling perspective for Scott Milanovic.
Well, in the one win he had out of his 3 starts, he ran very well against the Argos on this field. That was his first start for the Ticats. Now on in relief of Harrison Frost. Banged up in this one and handing off in that high snap. And the pickup by Roundtree gets to the 50. He needed to get right to the 50-yard line for the first down. And looks like he has it. Sticks do move. And the task for the Ticats, Scott Milanovich lamenting especially the fourth quarter and how poor they've been in that quarter, but in the second half in general needing to keep the momentum going here. They're down by 9, so more than a score, and they know what Saskatchewan can do in the second half especially. They need a drive. They need an answer. Even this early, late in the third quarter with 1:20 and counting down. Play action pass over the middle. It is caught, and it is the first catch of this game on 4 targets for Kenny Lawler. Another first down, Hamilton.
Yeah, Ticats loading it up, going max protection there. You see the tight end Max Mang in. Larry Roundtree stays in to help protect. Giving Trey Ford time, finds Kenny Lawler working back to the football here.
Lawler had a shot at a touchdown in the first half, but they didn't get it. They settled for 3. Down 9 right now, but on the Rider 46. Ticats with Trey Ford on the move in the first down. Tries to step up and take off, wanted to dump it off, and now just calls his own number, and Trey Ford doing Trey Ford things. You get him running in open space, he can make it happen, and that's another first down for the Ticats.
Well, you may not necessarily change the play calling from an offensive perspective, but you always wonder with Trey Ford in the ball game, particularly in a game where Saskatchewan came in not expecting to face him, if an adjustment will be made to put a spy on the quarterback to deal with the threat of him running if he continues to hurt the Saskatchewan Roughriders on the ground.
Well, the frustration Scott Milanovich had with him was ball security. He can prevent the turnovers. We know how dangerous he is running. Throwing here, it's low, but it is caught. And 5 more yards are gained here in the final play of the third quarter. So we'll have a 2nd and 5 coming up. And the Ticats are in scoring range, trailing now 19-10. They were down by 3 at the half. Down 9 now with a QB change, unexpected as it was for Hamilton. And Alex Hale, 4 for 4, kicking for Saskatchewan. The numbers through 3 quarters. The Riders lead by 10, and Dwayne, they got 3 of those points after a turnover on downs on a 3rd and 8 gamble with Trey Ford in. That's part of the story here. Harrison Frost did not start the second half.
Yeah, and interesting again, the timing, the field position of that decision. A 3rd and long situation, not a 3rd and short where they elected to gamble. And field position being such that it was a turnaround, a couple of first downs for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and they were in position to kick that field goal that turns it into a 2-score football game.
But they can get it back to within a score now as they start the fourth quarter with a 2nd down and 5, and they are at the Saskatchewan 26. And Harrison Frost out of the tent again, but not in. It's Trey Ford. Been at quarterback in the second half here for Hamilton. Throwing to the right, and it's high for Keandre Smith. Keandre Smith, who does not have a catch in this game, one of the Ticats' top receivers. So the drive stalls, and they need the field goal to get back into a 1-score game. Mark Leggio coming out. And Mitchell McCarthy will put this one down around the 38. Mark Leggio, 2 for 2, 3 more points, 6-point game again for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, leading at 19-13. This was 5 weeks ago. Tommy Stevens talked about his big day, rushing for over 50 yards. Wynn McManus took that personally. All the fuss over how good Stevens is in short yardage. looking forward to meeting Big Tommy again. Let's go back to Matthew.
He's looking for some FaceTime, Rod. Didn't you say in the first half he's looking for another business meeting right between that 1 yard divide? But it's funny. One thing Corey Mays told us this week, didn't he, gentlemen, that he tried to start a conspiracy theory that perhaps his team is trying to get in short yardage situations to give Tommy Stevens not only more opportunities to get first downs, but more opportunities to get touchdowns. And when we brought up what Wynton McManus wanted, those business meetings, Corey Mays just said he had his business meetings already. It didn't go well for him.
Yeah, a funny line by Mays, who certainly goes back with Wynton McManus. They won a Grey Cup together, but they certainly won that meeting, the defense did, against Saskatchewan to push the Riders back in a big loss.
Yeah, big play there. Philip Osei continuing his strong play, coming from the left side of your screen. Watch for 46. Nice job redirecting there.
So pressure and the sack on Harris, and a loss of 8 yards and a 2nd and 18 coming up here for Saskatchewan. 3-man rush. Ticats underneath. It is caught on that 2nd and 18. Johnny Johnson. Not enough for the first down, but gets a few yards shy of it up across their 45. They'll still punt it away. So success for the Ticats defense there.
And Ticat defense, fortunate when you see actually how close Johnny Johnson gets to the first down marker, knowing that short yardage proficiency of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but not quite close enough to bring out Tommy Stevens and the big team here for Corey Mays.
They would need 3 yards. So instead, Oscar Chapman inside his 35 to punt this away to Isaiah Wooden. Taken by Wooden at the 17. After a 46-yard punt and a short return, but a flag does come out late in the play. With Trey Ford coming out again. Been the quarterback in the second half for the Ticats. Waiting the call from Justin McInnes on this flag.
Either way, Trey
During the
Ford.
return, illegal block. Hamilton, number 29. It's a 10-yard penalty. First down, Hamilton.
The long field gets a little bit longer for Trey Ford and the Hamilton Tiger Cat offense here.
But they are, well, 3 points closer, trailing by 6, fourth quarter. Defense first in points allowed, second in rush yards allowed, net yards. I mean, this is an impressive D, number 1 in the CFL overall, and up against the offense that's been the least productive in the Canadian Football League coming into this. And by the way, the Ticats, they've done a good job. Joshua Bell's defense against the Ticats running it too. 21 yards only until Trey Ford came in. He has 24 yards as quarterback here and sets up the screen to Larry Roundtree. And he finds some space and a good pickup deep in their zone to get it up across the 20 and close to a first down.
And nice awareness here from Larry Roundtree, just in terms of having the patience after catching the football to kind of allow his blocks to get set up for him before putting his head down and taking that one upfield, giving the Hamilton Tiger Cats a little bit of breathing room with the first down.
Yeah, just enough for the first. A 10-yard pickup up to their 22 now. Trey Ford at quarterback for Hamilton, and faking the handoff to Roundtree and then dumping it up, and a nice quick turn back inside for Carrick Wheatball to elude Jackson Ford and pick up some more yardage, and yet another first down for Hamilton.
And obviously there's more to Trey Ford using his legs than just scrambling on the run looking to pick up the first downs, but extending plays, keeping it alive, getting outside the pocket, changing the angle of delivery here. A little flick to Carrick Wheatfall to move the sticks again.
Carrick Wheatfall on that reception. 6 catches, 42 yards in this one. And Hamilton started deep in their zone, on the move again. Ford with time, trying to buy more of it as he just checks that down to Wheatfall, who gets something out of that play when there was a lot of heat coming from the Rider defense. So a few more yards, call it 4, and a 2nd and 6 ahead. We're up to the 39.
Ticats may want to hustle as this one looked close to the ground. We'll get another look here.
Oop.
May have plucked that one off his foot. Looks like they will get the ball snapped without any protest.
No challenge. Ford. Oh, nice catch. Keandre Smith. Mentioned what a dry spell in this game as he finally has his first catch in this ball game, and it's another first down Hamilton.
Keandre Smith launches himself to go and get this one. Going horizontal there. Again, a third first down, and this is one of the things you aim for. You start off with the ball deep in your own territory. Again, this is such a field position game. It's not always about scoring, but you got to make sure from down there you get at least a couple first downs.
Throwing again and completing again to Wheatfall, and Trey Ford in at quarterback for Hamilton has something working here. They drove down for 3 the last time they had the ball, and now they are down to the Rider 40, trailing by 6.
Getting into a little bit of a groove here. Trey Ford decides to hold on to that one rather than hand it off to Roundtree.
And down, they spot it at the 41 and a 1st and 10 for the 3-6 Hamilton Tiger Cats. Looking to get back in the win column, trying to come back against Saskatchewan, rolling to the right, launching it deep, wide open in the end zone. My goodness, what a catch for a touchdown. Garrick Wheatfall extends and holds it in. And we get a tie ball game pending the point after.
Well, this play is just magnificent on both ends. Trey Ford is scrambling into the teeth of the Saskatchewan Roughrider defense. He knows the hit is coming when he throws this football. He's putting it up. He gets decked as he lets it go. Garrick Wheatfall makes it all worthwhile as he reels this one in.
What a catch by Wheatfall. Hauling that in for a very important Tiger Cat touchdown. His first receiving touchdown this year. He had one rushing, and Leggio at that point after has put the Ticats, who were 9 back, late flags coming out all over the place after the point after. But a drive that started at the Hamilton 12, they move all the way down on a 6-play 98-yard drive, and the Ticats now have a 1-point lead. Look at all the yellow laundry now.
Necessary
all over the
roughness.
turf.
Saskatchewan number 98. At 15 yards will be applied on the kickoff. Convert is good.
Desmond Evans, the unnecessary roughness, got a little extracurricular after that point after. Point after this! Exclamation point for number 8 Hamilton. First receiving touchdown as a Ticat. It's a big one. Here to Garrick Wheatfall that's given them the lead.
Yeah, but a terrific drive here, though, for the Hamilton Tiger Cats as they start off deep in their own end with that football. They run together a string of first downs to get that ball out over midfield. Trey Ford using his legs a little bit, moving around in the pocket, and then finally taking the deep strike to Garrick Wheatfall for the touchdown and the lead.
So the Riders normally take off in the second half. Now trail by a point, and a big hit by Braxton Hill on that return for the Riders. So it's fired everybody up. The offense, defense, special teams. The catch by Garrick Wheatfall. And another look here.
Trey Ford knowing the hit is coming, but sees that his guy has a step. Hangs in there to make the throw. Wheatfall with the highlight reel grab.
In his first year in black and gold after starting his career 2 years ago with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Biggest catch for him as a Ticat, to be sure. And that one in traffic, as said. Everybody's getting fired up now, it seems. That's Reggie Stubblefield, and good coverage there in the short pass by Trevor Harris.
And I go back to last year. Reggie Stubblefield, to me, was one of those astute, under-the-radar free agent signings by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. This was a guy who, him entering the starting lineup, I thought was one of the big keys in Montreal's Grey Cup run in 2023. He misses the 24 season due to injury, and Hamilton signs him as a free agent. And he comes in and doesn't miss a beat here.
From the Rider 20 at a 2nd and 10, and a deep shot to the left for Jete, and it's a bit too far. So this is best case scenario here for Hamilton. Get the touchdown, take the lead, force a 2-and-out, punting unit coming on, and they're going to have to punt it away from deep in their zone as Chapman will be back around his 5. And Wheatfall getting set to get on that field again. Isaiah Wooden back for this one, and he is standing around his 42. So depending on the punt here by Chapman, Ford could be coming back on with more good field position. Wooden comes in and close to the sideline, but turns it around, gets to midfield, and that's a nice return to get it into the Rider zone by Isaiah Wooden, who caught it near the sideline. Across midfield they go. Hamilton football. Ticats looking for those Roughriders Lions, and those first 3 games can also be seen in the CBS Sports Network. Everything on TSN, of course. Week 12 ahead next week. Week 11 has 6:48 left in it, unless it goes to overtime. Here's Trey Ford taking off again. Ford using his legs and has been very effective in relief, coming off the bench in the second half for the starter Harrison Frost. First down, Hamilton.
Another terrific run here for Trey Ford. You're talking about one of the fastest players in the Canadian Football League, who also happens to be a quarterback. He decides to take off and just watch the acceleration. A mismatch for pursuing defensive linemen, no doubt.
Got 38 yards rushing so far here in the second half. When he came in from the Saskatchewan 37, handing off to Larry Roundtree, tries to bust it outside, and he makes something out of that too. Roundtree had nothing initially, couldn't find a hole, and then worked it outside, and he gained about 6 more yards.
Roundtree looks like he
Timeout, Saskatchewan.
came up with a little bit of a limp here, but good hard run here for the first-year Tiger Cat running back. His team's second manageable situation.
And now it's the Riders feeling the heat now, I would think, the way the momentum is swung. They've taken a timeout on defense.
Please reset the clock to 5 minutes, 48 seconds. 5:48.
Justin McInnes asked for that correction to the clock, but yeah, test now for Joshua Bell's defense on a 2nd and 4 ahead for Hamilton, in range of at least 3 more points, with the ball at the 31 of Saskatchewan and 5:48 on the clock. Still plenty of time, but there has been a definite change in momentum with Trey Ford taking over as quarterback for Hamilton, with, we understand, his injury to Harrison Frost. Underneath, Mitchell, the touchdown in this game, gets it down to the 25. That's a first down. Hamilton, sticks move, drive continues.
Nice job there for Ford, just taking what the defense gives him. Easy one, don't need to try and force anything deep. See Mitchell throttling down across the middle there.
Mitchell got his touchdown in the first play after the interception by Stavros Katsatonis early in this game from the arm of Harrison Frost. Ford has since thrown a touchdown pass in the second half, faking the handoff, looking for another, no, but close, and Carrick Wheatfall got in behind coverage again. That one just a little bit too far beyond his fingertips.
Ford saw it right away, again pulls the ball, slides to the outside. Wheatfall didn't have another horizontal punch in him for that one.
Got in behind Nelson Lacombo, starting at the field corner, that close to another Ford to Wheatfall touchdown. It's a 2nd and 10. The ball is at the Saskatchewan 24. Ford underneath down to the 20, and Mitchell works it to the 18. And that is still shy of a first down, so we would assume the field goal unit, yes, will be coming on. Gordon White, Mitch McCarthy, and the kicker Mark Leggio to see if they can make it a 4-point ball game.
You get a bit of a sense as Trey Ford, RPO type situation, doesn't hand the ball off, pulls it, and when he gets around that edge as a corner halfback in that secondary.
Gets him down close enough for that. Mark Leggio, 3 for 3.
You're in a little bit of a quandary, right? Do I stay in coverage with him potentially throwing the ball, or do I need to get up there and run support? And that moment of indecision can be what allows a receiver to get in behind you.
Well, this has not gone exactly to script for Scott Milanovich, but I'm sure he'll take it so far. He had made his decision to go to Harrison Frost, but when he needed to call upon Trey Ford again, there's been a good response so far. 13 points in the 4th quarter tonight, and look what they've done in the previous 6 already. Outdoing that, the 4th quarter has really been their nemesis, and it's been stronger tonight. It's needed to be stronger, and they're leading, but it's still only by 4. We're talking about Saskatchewan's offense here for Trevor Harris, and that nearly intercepted by Stubblefield, who pounds his hand down in the turf.
Reggie Stubblefield from his nickel linebacker spot. Nice effort for Sean Mims coming inside on that slant. Stubblefield doing a good job to get underneath and make a play on the football.
Ticats defense doing a better job on Trevor Harris, who's 23 of 33 for 207 yards, a touchdown and a pick. They're at the 40. It's a 2nd and 10. Oh, is that intercepted? Falling down into the hands of Quavian White. Another turnover for the Ticats as they get to Trevor Harris again at the Hamilton 50. And everything is going the black and gold's way here in the 4th quarter.
Trevor Harris looking for Keyshawn Johnson. Notice Johnson pulled up on the
previous play is under review by the replay center.
I'm not sure. Didn't look like there was a collision. It looked like.
Did he hang on? Interesting what they rule here.
Yeah.
You can see it definitely does touch the turf eventually. Did he have control of the football? Does he lose control of the ball? This is a big moment here as a replay
I thought
center.
it did look like he trapped it there. It looked like the ball was sort of threw his arms to the ground.
Deflected there by Winton McManus. And right for Quavian White, but yeah, did he lose control of it? You can see it's on the ground as he's got it wrapped up, but they'll discuss. Replay center will take a look. And yes, now that was on a 2nd down play. If it works in the Riders' favor and gets overturned, they will still have to punt it away. And Hamilton will get the ball either way.
Now again, of concern, you can see in all of those replays kind of the awkward stop from Keyshawn Johnson. See how he's doing as we get the call in the official ruling.
After review by the replay center, the previous play is overturned to an incomplete pass. It's going to be 3rd down for Saskatchewan.
So fans don't like it, but you can see from the replay, did not look like Quavian White quite had control of it as it hit the turf. But Hamilton will still get the ball with the punting unit for Saskatchewan coming on now. And the Ticats with a 4-point lead. The 3-minute warning has been given. The final minutes here in Hamilton.
See Keyshawn Johnson emerging after being checked out in that Riders medical tent. But watch him out of his break here. Plants that left foot, try to head towards the post, and comes up limping. And this is what kind of leaves Reggie Stubblefield a clear path to the football. Trevor Harris expected Johnson to be there. He couldn't complete the route with the injury.
It was terrible for the Riders. Mentioned already without Kean Schaefer-Baker and Sam Emilus.
I mean, Keyshawn was the only one of their top 3 receivers healthy for this game. Now he's banged up, so we'll see if he's able to return.
Isaiah Wooden off the hop, so the Ticats do get the ball. 46-yard punt. That return still going to the 35. So the difference when you look at it, not that great comparing the interception to the return. And Trey Ford still ready to come on now, still at quarterback. 2:45 to go, and relief in the second half for Harrison Frost. And the Ticats, especially in the second half, done a good job defending against the explosive Trevor Harris. The Riders trail it by 4, and Hamilton has the football, and Trey Ford 12 for 15 for 143 and a touchdown pass. He's also run for 38 yards and 4 carries. Faking to Roundtree and then throwing to Lawler, who takes a hit there by Jackson Ford, and a flag comes out. And will Ford be penalized here after the catch by Lawler?
The timing of the flag would suggest that that's what's happening. You can see so much of the Ticat play calling centers around the run game, those RPO looks. Whether Trey Ford's going to hand it off or pull it.
Unnecessary roughness. Saskatchewan. 15 yards from the end of the play. First down.
And pulling it where he becomes a threat to run or throw the football. But offensive play calling built around his strength, what makes him most threatening to a defense. That's been the adjustment for the Hamilton Tiger Cats here with the change at quarterback.
So it was Jackson Ford, the safety, coming in on Lawler after he caught that. And with the penalty, it goes across midfield to the Saskatchewan 52. Corey Mace's defense now need to stop. 2:39 on the clock. Hamilton and Roundtree. And he keeps fighting there with Derek Roberson wrapping him up, but still a good run on first down for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and Roundtree getting it to the Rider 45.
Well, and what leads to there being space up the middle for Larry Roundtree to run that football is a defense that can't crash down to the middle between the tackles on Roundtree because they're worried about Trey Ford not handing off the football and working around the edge. So there you've got that space. And you can see the Tiger Cats, with what Trey Ford has done, have the Saskatchewan defense a little off balance.
Out of respect for what Ford can do when he keeps it. Yeah, you're right. I mean, always a danger that way. He hands off again to Roundtree. Josh Woods wrapping him up, but not before. He gets another Ticats first down, approaching the Saskatchewan 40, and just as importantly, taking more time off the clock. We're down to 2:09 now.
Well, that's the big thing in understanding the game situation. Ideal if you're Hamilton, yeah, you would love to score on this possession. But you definitely want to keep that clock running. But in the event you don't leave the Saskatchewan Roughriders a whole lot of time to respond.
It looks like he got to the first down mark. They want to be sure, though. They're bringing the sticks out right at the 42 and a bit, 42 and a half. They marked it a little further back when his knee went down, so oh, that's close, but it is enough for a first down, as signaled there by Justin McInnes. Sticks come out, sticks will move. First down Ticats with a 4-point lead with the football and 2:09 to go here in the fourth quarter. Earlier today, Edmonton won to move back into first with 7 wins in the West. Saskatchewan had, by percentage, 1 fewer game. Got first after last week and their victory over Ottawa. But if the Riders don't come back in this game, it'll be the Elks once again alone in first place in the West Division. Riders coming in at 6-2. Here's Roundtree left side, looking for the edge, finds it, and more. Another good run. Ticats content to run the football right now, working it down inside the 35. Another second and short coming up.
Yeah, mixing it up a little bit in the run game here. They're going to attack the outside. Max Mang, the tight end, coming down to block inside. Tackle swings around. You see a little bit of the speed in Larry Roundtree, the third's game as he gets around the corner.
Trey Ford, who was pulled against Calgary after a 4-for-10 start 2 weeks ago here in this field. He was pulled in favor of Harrison Frost, and this time, after Frost was hurt, he starts the second half. And he is 13 of 16 for 151, and that touchdown toss to Carrick Wheatfall, he nearly had another one. 2nd and 3, just under 2nd and 3 as Frost looks on at the Rider 35. At the very least, Ticats could have a chance to make it a 7-point ball game very late.
Timeout, Hamilton.
Now Hamilton taking a timeout. For Scott Milanovich has said, I mean, he hasn't shied away from the fact that it's been difficult since Bo Levi Mitchell got hurt back in week 5. Trying to find quarterback consistency and believing he would have it in Harrison Frost, and then having to go back to Trey Ford. But so far, things have been working out for Milanovich and the Ticats if they can hang on and get this win.
Trey Ford has come on and delivered in a big way here in the second half for the Hamilton Ticats. Scott Milanovich and that coaching staff, I think, doing a terrific job of putting Trey Ford in a position to succeed as well in terms of the plays that they have called for him.
And you heard Stavros Katsantonis talking to Matthew Shinetti at the half. Defense had to do its job, and so far it's been doing it too. But Roundtree again needing 3 yards, and see where they spot this football. Do they have another first down? Awfully close. 1:41 to go. Yes, they do. Sticks move again for Hamilton.
A couple of impressive drives really standing out here in the fourth quarter. One where they take over possession deep in their own end. After a penalty left them backed up, they strung together a few first downs, and then Trey Ford throws the deep strike to Carrick Wheatfall for a touchdown. And right here, as they try to close out this football game.
High snap. Ford manages to get it. Rolling around for his life there as he just throws it away with Antoine Brooks chasing him down. But that could have gone a whole lot worse for Hamilton. You talk about ball security, although that snap was high, and Ford did a good job just to hang on to it.
Yeah, securing the football first and then being aware. Trying to throw that ball as he knows he's got the backside pursuit coming from Brooks. Avoid taking the sack. Don't lose yards here.
They said throwing it away. Actually, he was throwing it right at Max Mang. Not quite. But effectively, though, yeah, that could have been a catch there by Mang. But still, they hang on to the football. That's the main thing at this point in the game. 1:16 in field goal range, but it's a second down. And handing off. They choose to run it anyway, and they'll have a chance to make it a 7-point ball game. 1:11 on the clock. They work it down to the 30. And Mark Leggio, who's been perfect so far tonight, coming back on to see if they can make it 7. Either way, in 1:11, the Saskatchewan Roughriders need to drive for a touchdown. A frustrating season for Scott Milanovich after such a promising start of 2-1, and with Bo Levi Mitchell really on fire, looking like the form he had a year ago, and then got injured early against Winnipeg, and things changed in Steeltown. But that 4th victory looming a little closer now for Hamilton as they have a 7-point lead. 51 seconds to go. Saskatchewan has that amount of time to drive down and get into the Hamilton end zone and a shot at forcing overtime.
Yeah, Ticats doing a decent job there with the clock. Minute 54 taken off, leaving Trevor Harris and the Saskatchewan Roughriders with under a minute and in need of a touchdown now to presumably tie this football game and send it to OT.
So Harrison Frost, 12 of 16. Trey Ford, 13 of 17, collectively 25 of 33 for 263 yards, 151 for Ford. But are we going to have a quarterback question all over again after what we've seen now? Harrison Ford, I did it. You know what? Talk to Glenn Suter about doing this. We got to find a way to get Harrison Ford at quarterback for the Ticats. Yes, old Indiana Jones, but Harrison Frost. And I knew that was going to happen at some point. Harrison Frost, though, didn't look bad at all in that first half through an early touchdown pass. So that's a question for another day. Right now, for Milanovic and company, just hang on and get the win, and that'll be left up to their defense here. 51 seconds. And a guy who knows how to drive the field and an offense, Trevor Harris. And another part of the story, that's Thomas Bertrand-Audin, one of the returners. The kick for Leggio, Johnny Johnson, has been an explosive returner. And they put it over to him, to the left. And there's Johnson with a flag out just across the 35. So again, good coverage on the cover team for the Ticats in that 20-yard return. And good to see Keyshawn Johnson coming back out. We had that concern, as Dwayne just talked about. Looked injured and some time on the sideline, but at a critical point in this game, a penalty coming up against Saskatchewan now.
Well, the ball is in flight. Holding. Saskatchewan, number 47. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Adding to the challenge for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. That special teams penalty. But we'll see what kind of balance the Hamilton Tiger Cats are able to strike here. Again, your biggest concern is you don't want to give up the big play. You want to keep everything in front of you. But with Trevor Harris picking you apart.
In the last 17 minutes of game action, first downs, 13 for Hamilton, none for Saskatchewan. Just dominance late in this game.
Reversal of fortunes.
Yeah, a team that hasn't been known for doing that late in the game. Intercepted! That should just about do it. Reggie Stubblefield down to the 10. Taken down inside the 5. And the Ticats with a 7-point lead. Intercept Trevor Harris for a second time, but flags are out again. As the Ticats celebrate, we got more flags on the field. 31 seconds on the clock.
Reggie Stubblefield. You saw his frustration as he had one go off his hands a few minutes ago. Elevates to go get this football. Close this game out for the hometown Hamilton Tiger Cats.
As Trey Ford looks on. And Harrison Frost pointing a finger up to a big moment for the Ticats defense on a night when they really needed it against Trevor Harris. They're sorting out the penalties, but Hamilton offense, Rider defense on the field now with a half minute to go. The celebration beginning at the Ticats sideline. Trevor Harris, 22 of 35, 207, one touchdown, but picked off
there are
twice.
Two fouls on the previous play. We have a 15-yard misconduct against Saskatchewan, number 61, and a 10-yard misconduct against Hamilton, number 95. We're going to go up to the 1-yard line, first down.
Up to the 1. And a chance to put some icing on the cake here with 31 seconds to go, and the Ticats leading by 7. They won their first 2 this season after an overtime loss to open it up against Montreal, and then they beat Winnipeg and they beat BC, and then after the injury to Bo Levi Mitchell, things changed. They picked up one more win against the Argos, but win number 4 coming up here now as they take victory formation at the 1. They got the touchdown lead, and they are content to leave it at that and put the game away. That's the ball game. Trey Ford off the bench and helps lead the Ticats to their 4th win of the season.
A terrific team victory for the Hamilton Tiger Cats against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. One of the best squads in the Canadian Football League. Much needed win for the Cats. Their defense keeping Trevor Harris and a high-powered offense in check throughout the evening. And that Hamilton offense, led first by Harrison Frost, punching a touchdown in early on. But Trey Ford coming off the bench, doing a tremendous